There is a soul that holds a deep love for you, yet this person has chosen on purpose to stay far away. Before your thoughts start to run and try to explain everything, stop for a moment and breathe slowly. The message reaching you right now is not just an ordinary thing. This exact moment, this message, and this timing feel connected to something deeper. It acts like confirmation of what your inner feeling has been trying to tell you for a long time. Under all the confusion and unanswered questions, there is something your heart already sensed but could not fully prove. There is no accident in this. Nothing happening here is random or without meaning. Sometimes life feels like it is quietly revealing hidden truths, but you only notice them when you slow down and become still enough to listen. Your spirit already understands more than your mind is ready to accept. There is someone connected to your story or someone from your past who carries strong feelings that they struggle to express. They feel something intense, something they cannot easily control, and a longing they cannot remove no matter how much distance they create between you. Do not assume their silence means they do not care. Their quiet behavior is actually filled with emotions they do not know how to handle. The more their feelings grow, the more they pull back. It is as if caring for you becomes both something beautiful and something overwhelming at the same time. Inside them, there is a conflict they cannot resolve. Even when they try to act distant, something in them keeps reacting to you. You woke up something inside them that was deeply buried, something that was hidden under years of emotional protection. You were never just another person passing through their life. Your presence shifted something in them in a way they did not expect. They did not plan for the emotional impact you would have. They did not expect the calm they feel when you are near, or the confusion they feel when you are gone. If you are dealing with someone who loves you but keeps pulling away, take a moment to reflect on that. As Carl Jung once said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Something between you caused a reaction in them. You changed how they see themselves. You showed them parts of themselves they never revealed before. You reached a place in their inner world that they did not even know existed. You are not just another person to them. You are like a mirror, reflecting both what they desire and what they fear. You reflect their hopes, but also their unresolved wounds. Their emotional system has never experienced something this strong or this difficult to control. You lowered their defenses without even trying. With you, they felt exposed in a way they were never prepared for. You were not part of their plan, yet you entered their life and shifted everything. The connection was not something they expected. The intensity of what they felt around you confused them, and the reality of your absence feels heavier than they can explain. It feels like losing something essential, something they did not realize they depended on. This distance is not created because of a lack of feeling. It is created because of fear. A fear of the emotional power you hold over them. You became the one person whose presence affects them more than they are comfortable admitting. You became a reflection they are not ready to face fully. For someone in this state, loving you feels like stepping into something unknown without safety. So instead of moving forward, they remain stuck in hesitation. They pull back not because they do not feel, but because they feel too much and do not know how to hold it. Their distance often comes with a quiet sense of guilt. Deep inside, they may believe you deserve someone more stable, more healed, or more ready than they currently are. They replay moments in their mind, overthinking past mistakes and words, afraid that their emotional wounds could affect something they value deeply. Inside their silence is a voice that keeps telling them they are not ready. Not ready to love you the way they feel you deserve. Not ready to face what this connection awakens in them. So they delay, they wait, and they convince themselves that time will make them stronger. But healing does not always wait for perfect timing, And what they do not realize is that this connection does not disappear with distance. Even when they try to distract themselves, they cannot fully remove you from their thoughts. Everything temporary feels incomplete. Everything else feels less meaningful compared to what they felt with you. What you shared left a mark in them. A deep, emotional imprint that does not fade easily. Even when their mind tries to resist it, something in them continues to return to you. As Carl Jung also suggested, what you resist tends to persist. The more they try to push it away, the more present it becomes inside their inner world. Their silence carries unspoken truth. It carries fear, regret, longing, and emotional confusion. They learned in the past that closeness can lead to pain, so now they treat strong emotion as something dangerous. But you changed that system inside them by simply being yourself. At night, when everything is quiet, their thoughts become louder. They think about things they never said. They think about messages they wrote but never sent. They imagine conversations that never happened. They look at your name and feel hesitation mixed with longing. They want to reach out, but fear stops them every time. They wonder if it is too late. They wonder if you have already moved on. They wonder if the connection they feel is still alive in you or only existing inside their own mind. But even with all these doubts, they cannot fully let go of the feeling that something between you still exists. There are moments when they feel your presence, even in your absence. Moments where your name appears in their thoughts without warning. Moments where they feel as if you are thinking of them too. This creates a loop of emotional tension they cannot easily escape. They are afraid of losing you completely. Yet their fear causes them to create distance, which is the very thing that risks losing you. This contradiction keeps them stuck. They want closeness, but they also fear it deeply. If this silence feels familiar, comment fear, because this is often what drives it. Not lack of love, but fear of vulnerability. They live inside an internal conflict. They run from what they desire most. They stay quiet about what they most want to say. They deny themselves the connection that could transform them because they do not fully believe they deserve it. Even if they appear calm or detached, it is only a surface layer. Underneath, there is emotional tension they constantly manage. They learned early that showing feelings can lead to pain, so they built walls. And when you entered their life, those walls began to weaken without them realizing it. That is why they step back. That is why they disappear. They try to rebuild control, but it does not last. Because what they feel for you does not fully go away. Their mind struggles, but their emotional core keeps pulling toward you. They tell themselves they need more time, more healing, more clarity, more strength. But time alone does not resolve fear, and waiting often creates more distance, not less. The longer they wait, the heavier everything becomes. They imagine returning to you only when they feel perfect, when they feel ready, when they feel completely healed. But life rarely gives that kind of moment. Love does not always wait for perfect readiness. Sometimes it requires honesty before certainty arrives. Deep inside, they are learning this truth slowly, that waiting for perfection can cost them what matters most. They feel pulled in two directions. One part of them wants to move forward. The other part is held back by fear. They wonder if you have changed, if you have grown stronger, if you have stopped waiting. And the thought of being too late hurts them in ways they cannot easily express. It creates emotional weight that sits quietly in their mind. At times, they would rather stay silent than face the possibility that the connection may no longer be available. Because silence feels safer than loss, even if it is also painful. But even in distance, something remains alive inside them. A bond they cannot fully explain. A memory that feels like home. A connection that continues to exist in their inner world, even when external contact is gone. This is not just about separation, it is about inner transformation, a process where fear and love are in conflict. And slowly, over time, truth begins to push through. There will come a point where silence becomes too heavy to maintain, where the emotional distance becomes harder than the fear of honesty. And in that moment, something will shift. For now, they remain between two worlds, one shaped by fear, one shaped by feeling. And you remain present in both, whether they admit it or not. But under all the fear and delay, one strong truth remains steady. They never stopped loving you. The distance is not because love became weaker. It is there because the love became so powerful that they could not carry it without feeling overwhelmed. They are not gone forever. They are gathering their strength. They are building courage step by step. They are fighting an inner battle between fear and what feels meant to be. They are learning slowly and painfully that silence does not protect love. It only makes it weaker and more uncertain. There will come a moment, either gently or all at once, when something inside them opens completely and they can no longer stay away. A moment when their heart speaks louder than every fear in their mind. A moment when not choosing you feels more painful than the risk of choosing you. On that day, the separation will end. They are coming back. Not halfway, not confused, not unsure, but fully present, honest, and real, because this story is not finished. Your chapter is still open. Love this deep does not disappear. It changes form, and it grows even in silence. Right now, they are shifting inside during the quiet. They are becoming someone new in ways you cannot yet see. Even if it looks like nothing is happening, everything inside them is changing. Distance has forced them to face themselves, and that is one of the hardest things a person can go through. Being without you has become a mirror. It reflects everything they tried to avoid. It has brought up truths they buried for a long time. It has removed layers of emotional protection they built over the years. Now they stand alone with themselves. No distractions, no excuses, no one else to blame. And in that silence, they feel the weight of your absence more deeply than anything they have ever known. So instead of running outward, they are slowly turning inward. At first, they resisted it. At first, they did not want to face it. But now, they are beginning to see who they really are when they are not hiding. They are realizing that what they once called strength was not real strength. Shutting down emotions, staying distant, isolating themselves. It was not power, it was numbness. It was survival, not living. Numbing does not heal anything. Silence does not create peace, it only delays pain. And now, when they think of you, they remember something different. They remember how safe they felt with you. They remember how natural it was to be honest, how they did not need to pretend. You gave them something real, and they did not know how to hold it at the time. They once believed love had to be confusing. They believed it had to come with uncertainty, distance, and emotional struggle. That was all they had ever known. But with you, it felt different. And that difference scared them. They were not only afraid you would leave, they were afraid of failing you. They were afraid of not being enough. They were afraid you would see the parts of them they tried to hide. What they are slowly realizing now is that you never required perfection. You never asked them to be flawless. You only wanted them to be real. And real love is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about showing up as you are. Every day without you feels heavier for them now. Every morning brings the same emptiness. Every night ends with thoughts of you returning without permission. They understand now that a connection like this does not happen often in life. And distance is not making it weaker. It is making it more painful. The universe feels like it is pressing them toward change, toward honesty, toward growth they can no longer avoid. The connection is not fading, it is deepening. What they thought time would erase has only grown stronger. They are learning the lesson they tried to avoid, that real awareness often comes through discomfort, that truth does not arrive without emotional cost. And through that process, one thing becomes clearer than fear. They cannot heal without honesty. They cannot move forward without courage. Their fear is losing strength. Their heart is becoming louder. The silence is starting to break. Something inside them is preparing for the moment they finally stop running. When they turn around and face what they avoided, it will not be with confusion. It will be with clarity, with honesty, with emotional truth they can no longer suppress. Because what they feel for you is not temporary. It is not imagined. It is not something that fades easily. It is something deeper, a recognition, a bond that does not depend on time, distance, or silence. Soon, the silence that once felt safe will become too heavy to carry. The distance that once felt like protection will start to feel like a prison. Every day without you will feel longer than the last. Every moment of pretending will become harder to maintain. What they tried to suppress is now rising again. What they tried to ignore is becoming impossible to silence. They are reaching a point of change, a point where staying the same hurts more than facing the unknown. And they are realizing something important. They are not protecting themselves by staying away. They are losing themselves. They are losing time. They are losing connection. They are losing something they cannot replace. In quiet moments, when everything slows down, they find themselves thinking of you without meaning to. Your name appears in their mind naturally. They reach for their phone without thinking. They go back to memories. The sound of your voice, the warmth of your presence, the way it felt to simply be near you. They replay conversations they wish had gone differently, words they should have said but did not, moments they let fear take control. Now they see clearly how they moved away from someone who truly understood them, someone who made them feel seen without effort. They think about unfinished conversations. They think about emotions that were never fully expressed. And the idea of reaching out both comforts them and scares them at the same time. They wonder if you would still feel the same. They wonder if your voice would still soften when you hear theirs. They wonder if there is still space for them in your life. Inside them, fear and regret are constantly pulling in different directions, but slowly, they are learning a painful truth. Every time they ignore their feelings, they hurt themselves. Every time they choose distance, they choose suffering. Every time they deny love, they deny their own heart. They are tired of what-ifs. They are tired of half-living. They are tired of holding back what they truly feel. They watch your life quietly from a distance. They notice small details. They read your words and look for meaning behind them. Some days they believe you still feel them too. Other days they fear they are only a memory now. But the connection does not disappear. It remains. Because something deep inside them is finally clear. You cannot replace a bond like this. You cannot erase something that was real. You cannot run from a connection that feels destined. They are learning that life does not keep offering the same chance forever. The universe has been sending them signs in small ways. Moments that felt too meaningful to be random. Feelings they could not ignore anymore. And now they understand that losing you is becoming the one outcome they cannot accept. The shift is happening. The return is forming inside them. Not yet fully visible, but already in motion. Healing is beginning because they are finally stopping the fight against themselves. They are mentally preparing for the moment they return. They imagine standing in front of you again. They imagine saying the words they kept inside for too long. I am sorry. I was not ready. but I never stopped caring. They understand now that you are not replaceable. You awaken something in them that cannot be undone, and waiting too long only increases the weight of regret. Every morning without you feels like a reminder of what fear took away. Silence did not reduce their feelings. It only made them stronger. They once thought distance would help them move on. But it did the opposite. It made everything clearer. It made your memory deeper. And now the absence feels heavier than any comfort they once thought it would bring. They are coming back because real love does not disappear. And the pain of losing you has become something they can no longer ignore or carry alone. When they return, it will not be with confusion. It will be with clarity, with intention, with the willingness to risk vulnerability for something real. Because choosing you is no longer a question in their heart. It is becoming the only truth they can no longer deny.